Laura Iowa. Laura? Yes. Okay, there you are. Laura is probably the most important person we're going to hear from today. She is a breast cancer survivor. And it is her stories, along with her, the people who helped her get there, that give everybody hope and make everybody aware of why this is Breast Cancer Awareness Month. Then we have Erica Brinkman, Dr. Erica Brinkman.
She's a surgeon.
She's still, yeah. She's a surgeon and she's still in surgery. Dr. Joshua Gross, who is the Chief of Breast Imaging. Dr. Gross. Dr. Raimonda Goldman, who is the head of the Medical and Oncology Department here. Dr. Benjamin Rosenbluth, who's Chief of Radiation Oncology. And Dr. Sharon Lewin, who is, I think, comparatively new, yes? Chief of Gynecology and Oncology. I think I met you by accident in a restaurant your first week of your here. It was not prearranged, but we had a chance to have an interchange. So with that, Laura, if you are ready to share or to speak, we'd be happy to have you.
February of 9th, I was diagnosed with breast cancer. I have been going here at the Breast Image Center since for 12 years. And I pretty much got to meet the staff and the doctors and became very good friends with them. So when I went on February 1st for a regular checkup, Dr. Kao, who was the breast doctor at the time, he showed me, took me in the back and showed me what breast imaging looks like and my shadows and stuff like that. And later on in the week, he called me and says, I see something, but to be on the safe side, I just want to get a biopsy. I said, sure, no problem, when do you need me? I went in on the 7th with a biopsy. On the 9th, like I said, I was diagnosed. He called me at work. I was at work at the time. He said, do I have time? I said, yes. And he says, I got your results and you have breast cancer. And I think it was the way he said it that I didn't panic, because it was a friendly voice. And there was no alert in his voice, and I said, okay. He says, well, let me explain. I know the word breast cancer is like scary. He says, it's 9 centimeters, size of your nail, so of course I'm looking at my nails. And he says, you're in good condition, it's recorded early, but once again, the way he said it to me, I had no panic. There was no panics, no worries. So I listened to what he said. He recommended Dr. Brinkman to go see her. I said, okay, I'll make the appointment. And I remember hanging up and just sitting there for a while. And then I went over to my desk, and my coworker must have saw an expression on my face and said, was I okay? And I just looked at her, I said, not really. So we went into the ladies' room, and I told her. And she gave me a hug, and she says, you know what? You're a strong woman. You could do this. Just take it one step at a time. And that's exactly what I did. I set my appointment up with Dr. Brinkman. I got to see her. She was very helpful in explaining the whole process from beginning to end. I hardly had any questions. My 2 main questions was once about the hair loss, when it comes up to that time. My second question, which for me is the most important one, is will I be able to play softball again? And how long is it going to take? And she said I would have no problems. So I said, great. So March 26th was my surgery day. It was like any other surgery. It went well. It went according to what she told me, too well. So I took that as a good That's a good thing. I mean, like, she knows more than I do. So from that moment on, you know, waiting for the results was the hardest part. But I had softball, I had my family, I had my partner to sign, and my son to sign swell. Just constantly thinking of it. I wasn't gonna let it get me down or sad, or I just kept on with my normal day of living. And that day that they told me that I had cancer, I just, you know, a lot of people expect me to go home. I didn't. I had work to do. I went back to my desk and I did my work. It was just another day, another news. I didn't want to get upset over it. You know, I have to wait and see what the outcome is. And when Dr. Brigham told me the results, I was happy. She said she recovered everything and everything went well. So that was good for me. My next question was, how long do I have to wait before I'm back on the field? Players are coming. So I just kept mind of making that day happen. And then there was another test to find out the aggressiveness of the cancer that I had. Because according to everyone, I'm young. So I said, okay, and how long is that going to take? Well, that took another 2 to 3 weeks, and basing it on the insurance company, it's going to take a while. So of course you have to push them a little bit. And I made a couple of calls, and at the same time found out what are they basing this test on, and then it's a percentage test. I said, okay, and what's the good percentage and what's the bad percentage? So the good percentage is to keep it under 18%, and no chemo will happen. Worst percent is 30%, chemo will happen. Okay, so we'll wait. So when my first meeting with Dr. Goldman, that's what we were waiting for, was that test to come. She can explain to me the next step. Am I going to chemo or am I going to radiation? Well, it just so happens on that day, the test scored a 29. So my next step was chemo. And I think finding out that I had to go to chemo was hard. I think that was harder than hearing Dr. Koh give me the news that I had breast cancer. Because going to chemo, and in between all that, I read about breast cancer. So I was aware of the chemos that were being given. And I wasn't happy at that moment. As much as Dr. Goldman wanted me to listen to her, for some reason I zoned her out because I think I had enough. And I just wanted to get this all over with. So the next step was to enter chemo. So instead of giving me 8 treatments, they recommended 4, but they gave me 2 of the most powerful ones, and that was because, number one, my health, and because I looked in terrific shape, and they thought that I could handle it, and I did handle it. I mean, I had, out of the 4 treatments, I had 1 bad day, but it wound up, it ended quickly. I was able to make the last couple of games in the playoffs, which was good. And I had a 4-week break before I went and saw Dr. Rosenblum. And radiation started for 6 weeks every day. So for 6 weeks every day I went to radiation. And that wasn't any different than any of the other treatments. I mean, you get tired, yes you do, you get tired. But I just kept going. And after the treatments, I go to work. And that was my routine. 8, 10 treatments. After that, by 9:30, I'm at work. I'm there to 9, from 5 to 6. And then I go home. I have a son. I take care of my son. Homework, cooking, ironing. And here I go again. Back at 8, 10, holy name. And it was the same routine. And I was glad that I go every year, faithfully. And I'm glad I did because, like Dr. Koh said, it was caught early. And I can't express the most important part is to go and have a breast mammogram done. Most important thing, because stuff that goes through your mind when you hear the word breast cancer is like, it's a little crazy. But I wasn't gonna let it beat me. I mean, I'm 52. I still have a life. And like I said, I enjoy playing softball. I was making it to four ball, which is where I'm at now, playing softball for the team in Hoboken. And that's been my will. But like I said, Dr. Coleman, an important part. And I guess the way he said it to me, I didn't worry. I didn't have to worry. I waited, like he said, to see what happens. So I saw all my doctors, see what the outcome was. And that's exactly what I did. And onto this day, I still see my doctors. I'm still being watched, and I have a pill that I have to take for 5 years, and I'm taking them 5 pills. I have a sleeve that I have to wear every time that I play aggressive sports or that I lift anything, and I'm going to do it. I'm going to do exactly what it is that I need for it not to come back. And that's how I've been. I have had a few down spells, not that many. I'm not a person that will let to give up easily without a fight. I'm that way in my softball games, and I'm that way in life. And I just go by that. So I'm grateful for Holy Name, for the doctors and the staff, for giving me the kind of treatment and attention that I needed for the 6 months that I've been here. And that is a little bit more of my story.
Laura, thank you very much. And I think what you talked about is not only the superb medical care that you've gotten here, but the issue about the way the doctor spoke to you, about getting a hug from someone, I think before you went into surgery. Not that I would need to point it out to anybody in this audience, but that is really part of medical care, and it's part of the way we, who are sometimes patients, feel about the care we get. So thank you for sharing. And I just spoke to the Senate President. We have a softball game each year between the Senate and the Assembly. And I'm going to battle Valerie and Holly to get you on a Senate softball team, not a Assembly softball team. Valerie and Holly will choose straws to see which team Laura plays on. So now I would like to turn it over to the panel. I don't know which one of you